So Deuteronomy 32 with this worldview, which is interesting. It would have been the worldview of that shaped the Israelites while in the desert, right? And to start with, this is give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, and my speech shall drop down as the dew, as the small rain on a tender plant, and as the showers on the grass. Because I will proclaim the name of Jehovah, ascribe greatness to our God. He is the rock, he is the work, he is perfect. For all his ways are just, and God of faith, and a God of faithfulness, without evil, just and upright is he. They have corrupted themselves, and they are not his sons. It is their blemish. They are a crooked and perverse generation. Do you thus give back to Jehovah, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father who bought you? Has he not made you and established you? Remember the days of old and consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will show you your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High is divided to the nations of their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. Now, this is an incorrect translation here. And he set the bounds of according to the number of the sons of Israel. This is where it's not correct. So when you go to the King James, and that's Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, and he separated the sons of Adam, and he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. The the um the actual translation of this and how it breaks out, he's not talking about the sons of Israel at this point. And he gives over, as you continue to read in Deuteronomy 32, is he gives them over to the spirit of, as he's divided the nations. Israel doesn't exist yet, right? As a country, this is still kind of becoming a country, and what that needs to be translated to is the sons of God, which would be the angels. So this goes back to the Tower of Babel and the flood, predominantly the flood. But at the Tower of Babel, when God had confused the nation, confused the languages, that's when the nations began. And God gave them over to the God that they wanted to worship. And if you go back into Psalms, I don't have the reference, but in Psalms, where it says that God is in the council of the gods, that's often translated incorrectly, and that's in the sons or in the council of the sons of God, or the children of Israel, or something like that. But it's the Elohim is in the council of the Elohim. And in when you dig into Hebrew grammar, when you've got Elohim in the presence of the Elohim, that the second Elohim becomes plural. And so therefore the modern King James actually translates it correctly, and the God is in the presence of the gods. But what's the gods? Well, the gods, because people often say, well, there's no other God besides God. No, there are no other gods above him. It's not saying that there aren't other gods, and it's not preaching polytheism, but it's a hierarchy that is within the supernatural that we don't see or understand, because we see Scripture through the lens of a republic democracy, not in a hierarchical sense that they would have seen it at the time when Scripture was written. When David was writing a lot of the Psalms, the monarchy was kind of the way to go, and you always had somebody in line that was going to take over that kingship, and those kings were always looked at as gods. But what it is if you go back to the Genesis 6 story and you start reading about what happened with the Nephilim, what happened with the flood, there's a lot more to the story than just the sons of God deciding to come down on the earth and marry women and earthly women and create giants. Those were in the spiritual realm considered kind of the way that the people on earth, the way humans looked at it, is they were gods, because they were able to do things. They had knowledge far beyond anything that we had. And you're laughing at me. What?
Oh.
It's Nephilim.
So it all kind of points back to the hierarchy that is in the heavens. So like the Satan and Michael are equals. They're both archangels, whatever, and archangels, and so like they're set above the other angels in the sense of hierarchy. So the sons of God in the council, the sons of God, it's those hierarchical angels that God is having counsel with. But this all points back. Deuteronomy 32 points back to the time before the flood, and in the time after the Tower of Babel. And basically, as the Tower of Babel happened, people were kind of falling into their gods. It's amazing how quickly flood, 6-7 people come off of out of the boat, and how quickly they fall back into idolatry, and how quickly they started falling in place with the gods that they wanted to serve. So what this is saying is for each nation, they essentially chose a god that they wanted to follow, and that's the god that is over them. You look at the world today, and you got Prince of Persia that is over Persia, modern day Iran. That was a god that they chose, that those people chose to follow, basically from the dawn of time, from the Tower of Babel, and never really got rid of that god. And you got the God of Israel, which is Jehovah, and you have Michael, the Archangel, that watches over Israel. And so you've got that one, and then you got all these other gods that are over all of the different countries. We talked about it before, and how when you've traveled, and you get a sense of something different or not right in that country that you go to. That's a lot of it. It's your spirit that is like, this doesn't feel right. Jehovah is not the God here.
When you travel to a place where God isn't on the street corner like he is here, where there's a church or 5 churches on every street in every city in this country, there's a spiritual element that's missing. You can almost feel that something just isn't right. And you can tell by the way that people treat each other. You can tell by the way they communicate with each other. You can tell by the way they carry themselves. There's just a different feeling in other countries. I can't put my finger on it. Not all countries, though. Some places I've been that have a deference for the Lord. And there's a Catholic church in the middle of downtown that set the foundation of these small places in the middle of nowhere. But there's an interesting void of what you feel. It doesn't take away from the place in terms of like the travel itself. There's still something, but man, the cultural nuances that you experience when you travel abroad, especially coming from a worldview that we have with Western Christiology, Western ideology, Christianity, it has fundamentally shifted the way that our people interact with each other. I mean, all you got to do is look at what's happening in Michigan right now as an example of the complete cultural upside down. There was a dude who I think was a Christian, video I saw this week where he went up. It was either in New York or Michigan, where he was just going to the different events that were going on, and he was surrounded by people screaming Allahu Akbar and freaking just screaming over the video recording they were taking, and almost getting overrun by this group of people that were just like, we are here and we're forcing this on you. And it's like, wow, It's the way that has happened. It's almost like a hostile takeover.